Oath of Spanish nationality, oath of Spanish nationality, what is it? That's exactly what you're going to find out today. Stay tuned as we begin. What is the problem? Okay, you just got your Spanish nationality, you received your Spanish resolution. If you did your process with us, then we would have guided you so you won't have this problem. But if you did it on your own, if you did it with professionals who are not very diligent, you might not be very clear about what this oath is. So, the oath of Spanish nationality is what comes when you already have your resolution granting Spanish nationality. You applied for your Spanish nationality, the Ministry of Justice verified that you met the requirements, and they granted it to you. A paper comes out with an electronic signature, a digital signature that says that after meeting the requirements, they grant you Spanish nationality by residence. You are not Spanish just for having that paper. Be careful. This is very important and a quite common mistake. People believe they are already Spanish just for having this paper. And we have consultations from people who have had that paper for years. It seems unbelievable, but they have had it for years. And now they want to get a DNI and see that they can't. And it's because they missed the oath. And the issue is that if you don't take the oath within 6 months after receiving that paper, after you learn about the resolution granting you nationality, then the process falls through, it gets filed away. So that is the proof that the resolution does not make you Spanish. It is the oath that makes you Spanish, which is exactly what we are discussing here. So the step before the oath is to have that paper from the Ministry of Justice where it states that they have verified your requirements, that you indeed meet the requirements, and that they are going to grant you Spanish nationality by residence. But for that right to be perfected, for that right to be exercised, or rather to come to life, because it is simply like a seed. But it hasn't sprouted, the seed hasn't grown, it's just a little seed. And you have to go water it with the oath process for it to grow, otherwise it will never grow. How's it going? How's it going? How am I doing with the farming analogy today? What I want to convey is that the resolution granting Spanish nationality without the oath is absolutely useless to you. How are those 6 months you have to take the oath calculated? Well, when you apply for your Spanish nationality, the Ministry of Justice grants it to you and sends you that notification. If you did it, the process alone places it in your citizen folder or in your account, making it available to you. If you access that notification within the 10 days following when they made it available to you, then from the moment you access it, the 6-month period you have to take the oath of Spanish nationality will begin to count. If you do not access it within that 10-day period, the period will start counting on the 10th day. So, not accessing it is not an excuse, which is why it is extremely important that once you submit your application for Spanish nationality, you have someone responsible for monitoring the notifications. If you do it with a professional, we take care of it, or the professional you worked with should handle it. But if you did it on your own, or they are not reliable, then be very attentive to the notifications, because if a notification arrives and is not attended to, time will pass, your nationality process will be filed away, and everything will basically be lost. I know, we know from our professional practice that there are civil registries that do not give appointments within those 6 months following the notification because their appointment schedules are set for 7, 8, 9. We know of registries that schedule appointments more than a year in advance. This issue is well known. It is a problem that the public administration itself experiences. So they cannot use that as an excuse to penalize you for not taking your oath within those 6 months. But be careful. You have to provide evidence that you tried to do it within those 6 months. How is that basically done? By requesting the appointment. We know that it is a civil registry that schedules appointments for much more than 6 months ahead, but you then have to request it within those 6 months. Keep your proof that you requested the appointment within those 6 months very well, and that way they won't be able to give you trouble on the day your appointment arrives. If much more than 6 months have already passed and you requested it within those 6 months, there is no problem. Additionally, we now encounter something relatively recent that is intended to resolve those delays in civil registries, which is basically the oath of Spanish nationality through a notary. The downside regarding the civil registry is that they charge you, as the notary provides a service and charges between 200 and 300 euros for that oath document. Advantages are that normally, in the vast majority of cases, it takes less time. Because you skip the queue for civil registry appointments and your file is supposed to reach the civil registry directly, supposedly fully ready so that they only have to review it, issue the birth certificate, send it to you, and that's it. You can already exercise your rights as a Spaniard. However, there are still civil registries that are immune to the state's attempts to reduce their workload. For example, in some civil registries in Girona, if a notary sends it to them after you take the oath at the notary, they put it in a queue. They put it in a queue, and in practice it ends up taking almost as long as if you had made an appointment with the civil registry. Because even if it's just about getting the documents, stamping them and passing them on to issue the birth certificate, And they put it in a queue and you wait and months go by. And it's as if you had made an appointment that they are scheduling 9 or 10 months in advance. I don't know, it's truly crazy that the oath process takes longer than the nationality process itself. The Ministry of Justice resolves it for you nowadays in a standard time of 4 or 5 months. It's the time in which we are currently receiving resolutions generally. But then you run into those specific civil registries. Fortunately, they are not the majority that make you wait months for the oath or for the issuance of your Spanish birth certificate, even if you have taken the oath at a notary's office, because the notary can receive your oath, verify the documents a bit, but ultimately the birth certificate can only be issued by the Spanish Civil Registry. What do you think? I've been talking to you here for about half an hour and I haven't told you what the oath is. Forgive me, but it's important for you to know all this prelude so that you can plan when applying for nationality or to be aware of what comes next if your nationality is in process. Because you might be optimistically thinking that you can exercise your nationality as soon as the Ministry of Justice resolves it, but then there's the matter of the oath. And with the oath, you might have more or less luck depending on where you are located. That's another thing. The oath must be taken no matter what at the address listed in the resolution granting your nationality. Spanish, even if you later change your registration, the address that appears in the resolution granting your nationality is where the oath must be taken. Even if you later change your registration. This was done precisely to prevent people from changing their registration in order to circumvent the system, especially in very overwhelmed civil registries, or basically to find a way to quickly exercise their rights as a Spaniard. So everything I've mentioned is crucial for you to understand that obtaining nationality is not just about applying to the Ministry of Justice, submitting the application online, sitting back, and waiting for your nationality to arrive. Yes, it works like that, but there are still things missing for you to be able to exercise your rights as a Spaniard. For you to get your ID and passport, there is still more to be done. In some cases, there is even more missing than from when you submitted the application and received the resolution. In some cases, even more is missing. So it is very important to know the timelines of the civil registry, where you are, how the notaries are functioning, if after the notary sends it, they issue it quickly, or well, if you need to plan in some way, so that this does not disrupt your plans to use the Spanish nationality. A regular timeline would be, you apply for your Spanish nationality, the Ministry of Justice grants it, then you have to take the oath, you can choose to do it at the civil registry, you can choose to do it at a notary. After that, you need to receive the Spanish birth certificate. With that Spanish birth certificate, you go to a police station. There are many, they are not as limited as when you need a document as a foreigner, which are only certain police stations for foreigners. In this case, the range is much broader, and in addition, appointments are much easier to obtain. And the issuance of the DNI or passport is not limited to the geographical area where you are registered. No, you can do it anywhere. Obtain the issuance of your DNI and your passport at any police station nationwide, even internationally, at consulates. In many of them, you can as well. You make an appointment, go regardless of where you are registered, and they issue your documents with your Spanish birth certificate, obviously. And now, for heaven's sake, what is the oath? Okay, well, the oath is so simple that's why I haven't explained it to you. That's why I was giving the context first, so you would understand why it's important, why you should take it into account. The oath is simply a formality, a solemnity where you go and swear allegiance to the King of Spain, to the Spanish Constitution, and to the Spanish laws, and if applicable, you renounce your previous nationality. In the case of Latin American countries, Andorra, Portugal, France, the Philippines, Equatorial Guinea, from those countries, you don't have to renounce, there are dual nationality agreements. But in theory, if your nationality is different, then you would have to renounce the previous nationality, as we have said in other videos. Then in practice, that does not mean you have to stop exercising it. It does not mean that it has to be formalized before the authorities of the other country. Anyway, if you have doubts about this topic, you will find more videos in the description. And well, we also have playlists on this topic of nationality. Surely there is the information you need. And if not, any specific question, feel free to leave it in the comments. We will be happy to answer it. We try to respond to all. If your case is more specific, with unusual aspects, exceptional things, well, okay. Then, in the description box and in the pinned comment, you will also have a link where you can schedule a consultation with me or with a member of my team, and there address your particular situation and chart the best path towards your legal residency or towards your nationality, or to expedite your nationality, or anything related to immigration or nationality. That is the oath, simply a formality. You come, stand in front of the notary, in front of the civil registry officer, and say, well, I come here, I swear allegiance to Spain, to its laws, to its constitution, to its king. Please grant me that nationality which I long for those rights. That's why I've endured all this tedious paperwork. That's why I'm still here, that's why I'm so excited about what I'm going to receive. Please grant it to me. I love this country. Yes, yes to everything. Come on, nationality. Let's exercise rights as a European citizen. Whoa. We are preparing a series of videos on how you can obtain your nationality quickly and easily. So subscribe so you don't miss them because they're about to be released. 1,000 thanks for your like, for your comment, for sharing, and again for subscribing. See you next time. Goodbye. By the way, I almost forgot. I am Juan Daniel, Director of Legal in Spain, a firm specializing in immigration and nationality. That's why I was talking about this topic, and that's why it says Legal in Spain here.